All right, welcome to another episode of Mike Reed's Reviews. Tonight, we're going to be doing a review on Thomas Sowell's Discrimination and Disparities. This is his 2018 release, and I'm just going to start with, I loved this book. There's a very, very specific goal that he's targeting here, and that is basically the notion that you can infer discrimination based on disparities. And in fact, I'll just go to chapter 5. There's an excerpt from chapter 5 that I think perfectly describes the intent of the book in just one sentence, and it is, disparities do not imply discrimination. So this is another one of Sowell's famous books where it's only 5 chapters, where every chapter has something like 50 citations, and each chapter is only 15, 20 pages long. So it's incredibly well supported and cited with facts and data and research. What I love about Sowell's writing in general, and it's perfectly well done in this book, is that he speaks in a common parlance. It's not something like, for example, The Road to Serfdom, which I'm in the middle of reading right now. F.A. Hayek's The Road to Serfdom is written at a deliberately overly intellectual level that I just don't think is accessible to many readers. So I think this is not as critical and seminal a work from Thomas Sowell as, for example, his Basic Economics or Economic Facts and Fallacies. I think that if you're a fan of Thomas Sowell, this is a good read to include. Although I think I'll add this. The whole book is only about 127 pages long. This is something I love. He's able to make his point succinctly. He's able to get to the point, which, again, is something I would detract from F.A. Hayek's The Road to Serfdom, where, honestly, chapter 10 is where he manages to finally get to his point. And I'm sorry, but if you need 60 pages of introduction and 10 chapters to finally get to your point, that's going to take points away from your read for me. So again, I don't think that this gets into great detail on the subject matter, but it's a very specific point that he's trying to make, and I think he does it very well. And I think if you would like to get a better understanding of the point that he's making and get a more thorough and in-depth read on the matter, I would recommend Thomas Sowell's Economic Facts and Fallacies, or even the first chapter of Black Rednecks and White Liberals. So again, one of the other things I liked about this is that I should know is that this book was released in 2018. So it's interesting to me to get Thomas Sowell's perspective right up to date. So it's the newest book. I think it's the newest book that you can get from Thomas Sowell. I'll put a link because I'm going to recommend this read in just a minute here. I'll put a link in this video's description to the version that I bought. I will recommend the hardcover copy. I don't know that you can get anything other than the hardcover copy that I got and the same printing company's softcover copy. About the edition itself, I will point out that the font is actually kind of small. I don't know where you can get a larger font, but if that's going to be a problem, it's kind of small. So I'll point that out. So I'll just say, in summation, just to keep this brief, I always like to close with a rating on a scale of 8 to 10. In terms of content, the actual content I loved the writing style. I love how he was able to get to his point in a short read. I'm kind of struggling between an 8 and a 9 on this one, because in terms of its impact on the greater economic theory that he's presenting and the socio-political perspective that he presents, I don't think it's on the scale of Economic Facts and Fallacies in that respect, nor do I consider it necessarily as thorough in its depth of description in the matter. So I think I would probably give this one an 8, but a very strong 8. Again, the writing style is exquisite. The supporting of citations are something to point out. I love the point that he makes, and he does it in a clear manner. So again, 8 out of 10, definitely a recommended read. That's Thomas Sowell's Discrimination and Disparities. Check it out.